Hello and welcome inside the studio, everyone, for another edition of the CrossFit Games Update Show. I'm Tommy Marquez, joined as always by Pat Sherwood, and today we're going to be talking about some rookies and some dark horses for the individual men and individual women. We're going to start on the men's side and take a look at some of the top performing rookies coming out of this year's regionals. We'll start Paul Castillo at the top. He is your Central Regional Champion, followed by Ricky Garrard down in the Pacific, Street Horner, who was second to Paul in the Central as well, Alex Smith, the brother of Ben Smith, out in the Atlantic, and Tim Paulson out east went down in week number 1. Now, Pat, taking a look at some of these top rookies here from regionals this year, who were you most impressed with?
That's a tough one because this is a great list. We have some very talented rookies showing up, but had to make a decision. I'm going with Tim Paulson on this. He really did stand out. He's got that grit and determination. This was his 5th time competing at regionals, so that's sustained high-level performance in CrossFit. And he was 3rd place, East Regional. That means right behind Fraser and Patrick Bellner. So he was going against arguably the best of the best. And given those gentlemen, he had an event win. He had a 2nd, 2 5ths, and a 6th place. So he did absolutely spectacular. And he's a big dude as far as CrossFit athletes go, which I know make you a fan of him. 6'1", 215 pounds, but even given that frame and stature, sub 21-minute 5K, 68 unbroken pull-ups. Former hockey player, tough guy, so I'm looking forward to seeing him throw down.
Love the big guy solidarity. But looking at this list of athletes as well, moving past the regional performances, what we got in store for the games, who do you think from this list can do well in Madison?
Again, we've got a lot of talent, but I'm going with Ricky Garrard. He's out of New South Wales, Australia. Last year at regionals, he took 6th place, skyrocketed to 2nd this year, earning himself a place. His brother Ben went to the games in 2015 as an individual, so he has that experience to draw on as well. But what I really like about Ricky is not only how capable he is in the CrossFit world, but the kid's just an athlete. We've got a background of rugby, flat track racing, cross-country running, and hockey. So those sort of skills are going to play really well with the whole unknown, unknowable concepts in Madison.
Yeah, you got to be good at the stuff outside of the gym to do well in Madison. So wrapping up the men, we're moving over to the women's side of the house and taking a look at the top rookies from this year's regionals for the women. At the top, we got Mackenzie Riley, followed by Kirsten Pedri. Pedri qualified both as a master and as an individual. Chelsea Hughes from out east, making it after years of trying. Highly touted individual athlete Jamie Green coming in qualifying for her first CrossFit Games. And then Bethany Branham qualifying in her first year at regionals. And Pat, looking at this list of women and their regionals performance, who stood out to you the most?
Kind of somebody that reminded me of the Tim Paulson by that. I mean, just grinding year after year. Kirsten Pedri, she has qualified for regionals 5 times, competed in 4, a knee injury kept her out once. But again, and like you said, a Masters athlete at 35 years old, went out there to California, threw down, took 2nd place. That means the list of women that she beat Pacelli, Vobril, Fisher, Myers, Voigt, Hygia. That's incredible. We had 6 events happen, and she had top 5 finishes in 5 out of 6 of those. So super excited to see what she can do.
And on the women's side, every year it feels like we see a new rookie come in, finish top 10 at the games, kind of make a name for herself. Out of this list, who do you think can actually perform and maybe even make it inside the top 10 given how competitive this landscape is?
This is somebody that we've been putting pressure on for years. Jamie Green. Finally, we get to see this story unfold. Last year, she won the Worldwide Open. Of course, you want to see that person go individual, but hey, got to respect it. She made a commitment to her affiliate, CrossFit Yes. They went to the games, and they took 3rd, did phenomenal. This year, she promised us, going to go individual. She did. Took 4th place out there at the Meridian. And before you armchair quarterbacks are like, oh, all this hype, where she took 4th, Meridian was stacked. Kristen Holter was absolutely on fire. You have Sam Briggs out there, Annie Thorisdottir, 2 former champions. So taking a 4th place in that environment, battle-tested. She's heading out there. Kate, cannot wait to see Jamie Green throw down.
Yeah, her 4th place was nothing to sneeze at. She is an amazing athlete, and she's certainly lived up to the hype. And if you think she's going to be inside the top 10, well, you know what you should do? You should go to Reebok.com/pick'em. Pick your top 10 men, pick your top 10 women, if that involves Jamie Green, and your top 5 teams. If you submit that and you pick all of those correctly in the right order, you're going to walk away with a cool $1 million. 7 figures to take home for some picks at the games. It doesn't cost you a dime. And even if you don't get it right, the top picks in terms of points, and you can get all the points there at the website as well. We'll be walking away with some awesome prizes from some of our sponsors. There's tons of ways you guys can tune in to watch the CrossFit Games this year for free, starting with the Games website. Games.crossfit.com will have all of the coverage streaming there. You can go to cbssports.com. You can go to Facebook Live. Our CrossFit Games Facebook page will be having the coverage there as well. Each night of competition, we'll have a 2-hour nightly recap. That's going to run on CBS Sports Network. And then on Saturday, August 5th at 12 p.m. Central, we're going to have a live hour on CBS, the big network, an hour of competition coming to you guys. So tons of ways you guys can tune in. There's no excuse for you guys missing the CrossFit Games this year. That's going to do it for us here at the desk. For Pat Sherwood, I'm Tommy Marquez. We're going to see you guys next time when we'll be covering the individual favorites.